Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I know it's been a while. I'm here to give you a life update with myself. Um, as you can see, the background is different. That's because I no longer live in New York. I have relocated to Georgia. And I'm here to tell you what happened. So it all started back in April of this year, 2017. My sister and I, sorry that sorry that the clip is moving. It's my arms. Let me stop. Back in 2017, April, my sister and I, we went to Atlanta for my brother's birthday. He was celebrating his birthday in Atlanta, so it's his 30th birthday, so he wanted Morgan and I to come and check him out. So I'm like, all right, I'll come, we'll do your birthday in Atlanta or whatever. So make a long story short, me and my sister, we had a great time in Atlanta for his birthday. That's a whole nother story time in itself, but we had a great time, and I just really enjoyed myself while I was there. Living in New York, I didn't live in New York City. I live in upstate New York. So I never liked to live there. After college, I went back to New York only because my family was there. But I never truly enjoyed living there. I just felt like I was just there, not really doing anything great or special, just literally there. I really didn't go out that much ever, for real. Me and Morgan just always stayed in the house and had the kids. We occasionally did, family stuff, but as far as like a personal life goes, I really didn't do much. So after we went to Atlanta, my sister and I thought that, we were like, you want to move here? At the time, I was like, we're not really going to move. Like, it just sounded like a good idea. But I like the atmosphere in Atlanta. The people were really friendly, and I like that I saw, people of my skin color doing successful things. So, and where I live at in New York, it's just, I just never felt like I belonged there. So, me and my sister, we flew back home, and we told ourselves, like, what, from here forward, we're going to make plans because we're moving. So we came home, told my mom, like, Mom, we're going to move to Atlanta. She's like, okay, whatever. Like, sure you are. So, but in my heart, I was like, no, I'm leaving, I'm moving. So the plan was that we were going to move. I have Morgan sitting here next to me, so I won't forget anything. The plan was that we were going to move in September, was it? Or October?
September.
I think the plan to move was beginning of early fall. Early fall, we were moving. We were going to give ourselves enough time to save money, find jobs, and all that good stuff. Okay? So, as it got closer to that time, I was like, do I know what I'm doing? Like, what am I doing? I'm moving to Atlanta for what exactly? So when the time got closer, I got really, really nervous. So our neighbors across the street, they're more like family because we've known them for a very long time. Our neighbor, he has a church down the street from where we live at. And Morgan started going to the church by herself at first. And then she was like, Tia, you should come. I was like, I'm not going to lie. I was just like, I'd rather not, And even though we grew up in the church, but after a while, I stopped going. I still always had a relationship with God, but I wasn't going to church like that, just to be honest. So Morgan started going to our neighbor's church down the street. So after she went, she was like, Tia, you should go to church too. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. So I went, and I'm like, all right, it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. I received the message, um, and I enjoyed myself. So I was like, okay. And it uplifted my spirits and it motivated me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep going to this church. And so I did. And all the while in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm making this, I'm about to make this big change in my life to move to Georgia. And the closer it got, the more doubtful that I got. You know how like when doubt creeps in and it manifests into something else, I start thinking like, why am I gonna move to Georgia? Like, there's no point. I might as well just stay here with my mom. I'm safe here. I already have a job. The job that I had in New York, I was there for almost 7 years. I was very complacent, very comfortable, and I'm like, why ruin this comfort by starting over? So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So going to church every Sunday, they were talking about, talking to God and speaking to God. And I thought to myself, like, God really never spoke to me before. Of course, I believe in God and I talk to God. I pray, but it never really talks back to me. And they were saying, like, you can't just say a prayer, a little quick 30-second prayer, and say, okay, God, what's my answer? You have to dwell in his spirit and spend time with him. And that's how it works. And I didn't really understand that before. So, I had doubts about moving to Georgia. So my whole question was like, should I go? Should I quit my job of 7 years and just drop everything I know and up and go to Georgia? Or I don't know anyone. My brother was here. That's it. So I had a question about, should I leave my job of 7 years? Should I go to Georgia? And yeah, pretty much like, what am I doing with my life? Because to be honest, I really didn't want to sit at my job that I had in New York and just sit there and sit until I retired. I wasn't getting any type of fulfillment out of there. There wasn't really room for growth. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to have that job. It was a decent job, but I was super complacent, like just flatline. So, by going to church, then they were saying, like if you have a question about anything, no matter what it is, ask God. So I start praying like heavy, like, God, give me the answers. Should I go to Georgia? Should I quit my job? Just spending time with the Lord, getting on your knees and praying and just talking to him. I would be in the car driving to work. I had a 30-minute drive. I would turn my music off and talk to him the entire time going to work. And like in my heart, he was telling me like, it's okay, go, I got you. But like I was still letting that negativity creep in and telling me, no, don't do it, you're crazy. So I'm like, okay, God, I believe in my heart you're giving me the green light to go, but can you just like write it out or have someone tell me literally, because I don't want to make a mistake. And I know God was probably thinking like, didn't I just tell you that it's okay to go? Like, what else do you want? But I'm like, I know you're telling me in my heart, but can you just please give me a big sign, a loud sign, so I know that it's real? So I go to church one Sunday, and the bishop let one of the elders preach. He's young too, but he's so anointed. So he was, he preached, and after his sermon, he called me up there. So I was like, he was like, you come up. So I'm like, me? He's like, yeah, come up here. So I went up there, and he's praying for me, and he's talking to me in my ear. And he says to me, right hand of God, he says to me, God told me to tell you that it's okay. I don't want to cry. Such a baby. Anyway, he says, God told me to tell you, it's okay. You can let go. He said, God told me to tell you, it's okay. You can let go. It's your season to blossom. Don't forget about all that stuff in the past. Let it go and move. It's time to move forward. And he's like, God's going to bless you in ways that you can't even imagine. So I was like, oh wow, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted to know. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Keep in mind, I didn't tell anyone in the church about me moving to Georgia. Nobody knew. Me and my sister knew, but that was it. Nobody else in the church knew. So there was no way he could have even known what my heart was seeking, because I never told anyone. So when that happened in church, I was like, okay, all right. It's okay, Tia. It's okay to quit your job. It's okay just to let go and go. So when it came that time, I went to work, put my 2 weeks in, and a lot of people at that job would question me like, why are you going to quit? This is a decent job. Like, what else are you going to do? And I'm like, yeah, this is a decent job, but this, like, God has bigger plans for me. And so I'm just going to step out on faith and see what happens. So I had a lot of naysayers, but I had a lot of people who also supported me. And like in New York, I did freelance. I was a freelance makeup artist. So I wanted to try to do makeup in Georgia as well. However, my need, like in New York, I did makeup for, ladies, whether they were going to be in a wedding, a baby shower, they just was going out to the club that night. Whatever. You wanted your makeup done, I did it. And I'm kind of getting off track, but I just want to let you guys know what I'm thinking. I like doing makeup because I like the end result. My client feels happy and beautiful. But it wasn't enough for me anymore. I wanted to use my talent and my skill to give back to God. So just pinpoint that. So I put my 2 weeks in, and my brother already had his own little apartment in Buckhead in Atlanta. So I put my 2 weeks in. After I put my 2 weeks in, after 2 weeks, my brother, he flew down to New York and he helped me to drive my stuff back to Georgia. So, I said goodbyes to my family and my friends. My sister is coming to Georgia too, but at this time, she has 2 kids. So she has to tie up some ends with them, make sure they're good before she can just up and leave. I don't have any kids. I'm single. I can make moves. So I told her that my brother Shabazz is in the background. He's getting on my nerves. Anyway, I told her, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that we're good. We have some place to stay when you come up here. So my brother comes down, gets me. We go back to Georgia, and I'm like, okay. But before I went to Georgia, I was already looking for jobs when I was still in New York. So when I got to Georgia, I had a couple interviews lined up with staffing agencies and things of that nature. So when I got to Georgia, I spent every single day looking for a job. And now, mind you, when I was in New York, like I told you before, I didn't go out. I literally stayed home. I went to work, came home. Went to work, came home, grocery store, work, home, grocery store. I didn't go out. I really didn't do much of anything. And it was mainly by choice. Well, the place where I lived at New York, there really wasn't much to do anyway. But I never felt like I fit in. I never felt like I fit in there, should I say. So when I came to Georgia, it was me and my brother, and I was going out, if not every day, every other day. And it was fun for me because I didn't do anything in New York. So my brother really showed me a good time. He just showed me just a whole new life. Like, mind you, I just turned 33 in November 6th. So I should be experiencing more instead of just sitting in the house. Like, I don't even have any children. So we're just, tour of Atlanta, taking me everywhere. I'm just having a grand old time. But keep in mind, I am looking for jobs every single day because that's key. So, and a lot of people back at home were judging me, like, you're going out too much. Are you even looking for a job? Because they would see my social media. And like you only see what I'm showing you. Yes, I'm going out with my brother, but I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not being disrespectful. You only see what I want you to see. People were judging me about that, but I was like, whatever. I know what I'm doing. So I started getting a little discouraged because I wasn't landing a job as fast as I thought I would. So, let me just backtrack. The Sunday, I left New York on a Sunday. But that Sunday before I left, I went to church that day. And the elder spoke to me again that Sunday when I left to come to New York. And he told me again, he reiterated to me again. He said, it's your time. God's going to open up doors for you. He said, God told me to tell you, you're going to have options. Options. So I was like, okay, all right. I'm going to have options. Now, at the back of my head, I heard someone say, God, he puts you through tests because he feels like, how are you going to know how great I am if you never see me actually work for you? So I'm thinking to myself, oh, God, I don't want to go through tests. I believe you. I'm a believer. Just bring me my blessings. I don't want to go through no trials and tribulations. In the back of my head, I knew there was going to be bumps in the road, but I just didn't know what to expect. So I'm in New York, I'm applying for jobs, and I was having like 2 interviews a week, but I wasn't landing a job. I'm like, God, you said I was going to have options. Like, I don't have no options. So I had an interview with this one company. I was having a lot of interviews with like staffing agencies, and I told my sister, I'm like, I'd rather have an interview with a direct company and cut out the middleman because I'm not getting anywhere with the staffing agencies. So I had an interview with a direct company here in Georgia, and I thought it went well. I had an interview on a Friday. He said, okay. After the interview, he told me, I'll call you with an offer. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, I got the job. So I'm like, okay, I got the job. So it's Friday. So I didn't hear anything back from them for the rest of the day on Friday. I'm like, okay, they're going to call me Monday morning. Monday morning, nothing happened. So I'm like, feeling discouraged. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm spending my money without even having any income coming in. So that next day, at Tuesday, I was actually on the phone with my sister complaining. I'm like, I haven't landed a job yet. I don't know what's going on. She's like, Tia, just have faith. God told you to go, so you're going to be okay. Just have faith. I'm just like, it's hard having faith when, nothing's going how I thought it was going to go. That's another thing. Don't try to figure out God's plan because you're not going to figure it out. You're not going to understand it. He works in mysterious ways. Don't even try to figure it out because you're going to fail every single time. So I'm in my mind, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking like, I might landing a job. Like, what is he even talking about? This is crazy. So I was on the phone with my sister complaining, like, this is not happening the way I thought it would be. So as I'm on the phone with my sister complaining, I get a beep. So I'm like, I see the Georgia number. I'm like, let me call you back. So it was the job that I interviewed with on Thursday. It was a collection agency. So I did collections in New York, but I did it for a company, a communications company. I never did like third party collections. I did like soft collections for a direct company. So it was a collections job. They beeped in. I told my sister, I'll call you back. So I answered the phone. It was HR saying, we want to offer you the position. So I'm like, yes, thank you, Jesus. I finally landed the job. Whew, that was scary. So I start the job maybe like 2 weeks or a week and a half after that. So they told me, they said, training is for a week. Then after that week, you'll be on the phone live that Monday. And this was third-party collections, which I never done before. I just only did soft collections for the direct consumer. So I'm like, wow, 5 days of training, like that's a little odd. Like at my last job, we had 3 weeks of training. There's a lot to learn. So, and when I got the company, I'm not gonna say their name, they were very janky. It was like really weird. The CEO it was a small company, because the CEO of the company had an office within the building that we worked in, which is one floor, about maybe like 40 reps, and they painted the picture of the company like, you can make so much money in commission. Just painted a really good picture. You can make $2,000 in commission on top of your base pay. So I'm thinking like, yeah, like I'm about to be lit. But when it really came down to it, it was 5 days of training, which wasn't enough for me. And then when I got on the floor that Monday, it was very micromanaging. I had the CEO at my desk, the manager, the assistant manager, and the team lead every 5 minutes over my shoulder. Like, did you collect any money yet? What's going on? What are you doing? I'm like, bro, this is my first day like, and I just wasn't really feeling the atmosphere. The people who worked there were they talked about each other negatively, and management talked bad about existing employees to the new hires. They would say things like, they were use foul language. They would say things like, you guys are replacing them. They're old news. You're going to be, you're going to replace them. And I was like, that's showing me that you don't even appreciate your employees, and you talk to them any type of way. And I wasn't used to that coming from my job in New York at all. They were professional there. We respected one another, and we helped each other out. So this new job, I was like, I don't know if this is for me. So I had my lunch break. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I don't think it's for me. Like, I can't see myself working here. They make me super uncomfortable. And my mom was like, leave, So my mom was like, that's your bad. So my mom said, you don't like the job, leave. So I was like, let me try to at least finish out the day. Maybe I'll feel better by the end of the day. I was getting off at 10 o'clock that day. 10 o'clock, I worked 1 to 10 p.m. for the first day. So it was like 7:45. And my team lead, he said, Portia, go take your last break. So I had met a good friend at that job. We're still cool. Me and her were taking breaks together. I told her, I said, you know what, this job is not for me. I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. So she was like, I don't like it either, but let's try to finish out the week. I was like, no, I'm not finishing out the week. My gut's telling me to go. I don't want to do this. So I gave my badge to her. I said, here, take my badge. Tell them thank you, but no thank you. Which was, on my part, that was unprofessional. I should have went there and told management, like, I don't feel comfortable working here. Here's your badge. I'm not coming back. But I just felt so uncomfortable that I didn't want to even talk to them, because I knew that they were going to be nasty to me, because they were nasty on a regular basis. So by me quitting, I know they were going to be really nasty, and I just didn't want to put myself in that type of predicament. So I gave her my badge. I walked out, got in my car, kept on going. So I'm like, okay, back to the drawing board of me looking for jobs. So I'm thinking like, wow, right when I thought that I had a job, it didn't go as I thought it was going to go. So I'm confused again. So I'm like, okay, Tia, keep your faith, and look for jobs again. But this time, only apply to jobs that you can actually see yourself working at. Like, real legit corporations. So I'm like, okay. I went home that day. The next day, I got online. I went to Google and I Googled best places to work for in Atlanta. And I went to all those jobs that they named, and I looked to see if they were hiring for anything that I had experience in, like accounts, receivable, payable, collections, things like that. So, and a lot of them did. So I applied for them. One of the jobs that I applied for, like the first one I applied for, I think it was a credit union. And so I applied for them, and I applied for, I don't want to say the names of the businesses, but I applied for major businesses. So I applied for all those jobs. I said, okay, Tia, apply for at least 3 jobs a day, places that you can see yourself actually working at. And it was a job in itself, applying for jobs, because you have to wean out the jobs that you don't like and to find the few that you do and apply for them. So I did that. So the first day, I quit that job that Monday. That next day, Tuesday, I applied for like 6 jobs. And the very next day, like I got two of them called me for over the phone screening. So I'm like, okay, Tia, all right, there's hope. You can do this. You got this. Have faith in God. So all the while, I'm still praying. I get on my knees. I pray every night. God, just lead me in the right direction. Bless me with the job that you have for me. So I'm having screenings, over the phone screenings with these jobs. Some of them I had over the phone interviews. Some of them I had in person interviews. So the first interview that I had after the job that I quit was with the credit union, and I had an interview there. When I went there, I was so amazed by that building. It was so nice. It was like state-of-the-art equipment. It was like everything was brand new, plush. I was like, am I in the right place? Because this is too nice. So they told me, they were like, after I had an interview with them. It went well. I'm like, I talked too much in the interview. I think I was nervous. So I was telling them things that I shouldn't even have been telling them because I was nervous. So I'm like, I don't think that interview went well. So they told me, we're hiring internally and externally. But if hired, you'll start on the 1st. So I'm like, okay. So when I left out of that job, I prayed like God, like that's my job. I want that job. The pay was what I was looking for. The benefits exceeded my expectations, and I'm like, oh, I want that job. Called my mom and said, Mom, I want that job. She's like, okay, claim it, it's yours. So I'm like, okay. So I still had other interviews. I had an interview with, I'm going to say the company's name. It's irrelevant at this point. I had an interview with Cox Communications, which is similar to the job I had in New York. I had an interview with Comcast. I had an interview with CarMax. All good places to work at. And so I'm having all these interviews, and I'm like, all right, when is someone going to call me to give me an offer? And I wanted the credit union job because they paid, out of all the jobs, they paid the most. But time was dwindling down, and they were not calling me back. So I was like, all right, Tia, you didn't get that job. It's okay. Don't lose faith. It's okay. Keep moving. So, it was October. At the end of October, I had to go back it was time for me to go back to New York, New Jersey, because I had my grandparents' anniversary party was in New Jersey. And also, I was picking up my sister because it was time for her, she got the green light for her to come to Georgia. And so my brother helped me find an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment, which I am in now. So my sister and I and her 2 kids can live in. So my brother was like, I'm going to help y'all out. I'm going to pay the first 3 months of rent for you. So I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking like, all right, after that, like Tia, you gotta get it together. Like somebody has got to call you for a job. So I go to New York. My sister pick her up. We move. I get the rest of my things. Also move her things. Okay. Sorry for the brief interruption. So like I said, I picked my sister up from New York. We were driving her car back down to Georgia. And at this point, I'm just so overwhelmed with the thought of like not getting a job, and I'm just discouraged, uncertain, just feeling like everything. So, like I said, I let doubt creep in, and like that negative, like that's the enemy. When you get that negativity in your ear, because when the Spirit of the Lord comes to you, He comes to you in comfort. You're not gonna feel uncomfortable or feel bad. So that negativity in your ear, that's the enemy. So we're driving, at this time we're in Georgia. And it was October 29th. And it's my turn to drive. We had just entered the state of Georgia. And I'm sitting there in my thoughts driving. I'm thinking like, wow, didn't get the credit union job because that starts on the 1st. And it's October 29th. Scratch that. Cox Communication ain't called me back. Carmack told me they put a hold on the position. I ain't heard from Comcast. So I'm like, I'm just a freaking failure. Like, where, like, and the doubt just turned, it manifested into just a big hot mess. So I'm talking to my sister. I'm like, you know what? I just feel so discouraged. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm out here for what? I had all these interviews, haven't landed any jobs. Like, I thought the credit union went well. I thought CarMax went well. I thought Comcast went well. I thought Cox Communications went well. Like, and other companies too. Those are just the major ones. So I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong at this point. My sister was like, try to keep the faith. Try to keep the faith. Try to keep the faith. Like someone's gonna call you back eventually. And I'm just like, I've been doing this circle with these jobs for weeks now, and I can't believe I've had all these interviews. I haven't landed a job. It killed my self-esteem. I felt dumb. Like, why can I get hired? Like, what am I doing wrong in the interview where they're not calling me back, or where I'm not getting chosen? So I'm frustrated. So I'm in the car. I'm talking real negative. Okay, I'm in the car. I'm just like, what is the point of having faith? I started questioning God. I'm like, what's the point of even praying and asking and keeping the faith when nothing even goes your way? And this is so stupid. I'm spending all my money. I'm going to be broke because I don't have any income coming in. Like, what am I even doing with myself? I'm about to legit just give up. Like, I don't even care to be a good person anymore because I see people who don't live good lives getting all these lavish things. So I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of being good? Like, life sucks. And I was like on the verge of tears. I was so frustrated and just upset with my circumstances. And then so my sister kind of fell silent because she didn't know what to say to me. So like a few minutes passed by. I'm just really in my thoughts, just angry at the world. And my phone rings right in that moment. I look at my phone. It was a Georgia number. So I'm thinking like, maybe it's Cox called me back because, the credit union job, they started on the 1st and it was October 29th. So I knew I didn't get that job. Even though they had the best pay and all the other stuff, I'm like, okay, I didn't get that job or whatever. I'm like, maybe it's either Cox or Comcast. God, please let me one of these jobs. So I answered the phone. I'm driving. I answered the phone. It said, hello, Tia? Mind you, Tia's my nickname, but my government name is Portia. But this particular recruiter, asked if he could call me Tia. So when he said, "Hello, is this Tia?" I knew who it was right away. So I'm like, "Yes, this is Tia." He said, "Hey, I'm so and so calling from the credit union. We want to offer you this position. Are you still available?" Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea. And I'm like, "Am I still available?" Yes. Like, he said, "Okay, we're going to have you start on the 16th. I'm going to email you all the paperwork, fill it out. Congratulations. Welcome to the team." So I'm just like trying to, it all happened so fast. I go from being in the moment, questioning God, being mad. And don't you know, they say, he doesn't show up when you want him to. He shows up right on time. That was at perfect timing because I was about to give up. I was just literally about to give up and do something stupid because I didn't believe in myself. I felt like my faith was shot. I was just thinking very negatively. And in my mind, I thought, didn't get the credit union job because they start on November the 1st. It's October 29th. I clearly didn't get the job because no one called me back. But God said, this is not for you to determine or you to figure it out. I'm in charge. I'll tell you when you're going to start. I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say. I'm in charge. So I'm like, wow. Out of all the jobs that I interviewed for, that one was the best job. They paid me the most. They offered me the most pay, should I say. They had the best benefits, the best amenity. They had the best of everything. And that's the one that I wanted, but I'm like, I know I didn't get it because they're about to start. And I didn't get picked. So I was like, wow. He came and blessed me right when I was about to give up. And it brought me back to the saying, God says, how are you going to believe in me and know what I can do for you if you never see me work for you? And at that moment, I'm like, God truly, truly, truly worked for me. Because in my mind, I'm trying to figure out the plan. I'm like, oh, it's Cox Communications calling me. And no, it was something better than that. Like, he blessed me with something. Out of all the jobs he blessed me, I got the best one. And that was just mind-boggling to me. And I was like, okay, Tia, he works. He will work in your favor. Let me tell you, he will work in your favor. I had to go through it and experience some uncomfortable situations just to go through, the trials and tribulations for the outcome to be better to what I was even expecting. And it's so crazy because I really would not have even went through all that if I didn't start going to church. And in church, they told me to spend more time with God. They didn't tell me, they told everyone, spend more time with God, talk to him. And I started watching Heather Lindsay on YouTube. And she encouraged me a lot, too, to, bask in the Spirit of the Lord. And so that's what I did. And what I'm trying to tell you is, when going through life, we have uncertainties and things we don't know what to do, or just uncomfortable feelings that we have. I promise you, if you give it to God, he'll fix it. He will turn a bad situation into something you could even imagine or dream of. And I was like, wow, I have to tell my story, because you're not even gonna, people are not even gonna believe this. And I'm working at the credit union now. I'm happy. It's a good job. And every day I walk in the doors, I'm thinking I can't believe I got this job. This is crazy. I feel like I'm not even qualified. But God had that job picked out for me before I even applied. And it's funny, when I was in orientation for that job, this young lady that I was in training with, she told me, she said, I have been trying to get in this company since 2013. I was applying. Then one of the other guys was like, yeah, I've been applying too, and finally got in. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it's hard to get in. I'm like, wow, like, thank you, Jesus, for allowing me to apply one time, and I got in. Just one time. Even though, in my mind, I dismissed this job because I'm going by off what man said. Man said that the job started on the 1st. So it's October 29th, and I didn't get a call, so I didn't get the job. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what the human says or the flesh says. That's irrelevant. Only thing that matters is what God says. He has the say all. He's in charge of everything. And if you don't know what to do, I promise you, just give it to him, pray to him. And some people may say, I don't know how to pray. Just talk to him. Just how I would maybe talk to my sister or talk to my friend. Like, I talk to God. And I talk to God all day. I'm out, like, in my head, out loud. Like, I talk to him and just talk to him and just bask in his presence. The closer you have a relationship with God, and I'm still working on it, because sometimes I'm human. I still fall off, and I'm like, oh, God, forgive me for doing that. I gotta dust myself off and get back up. But I know that if you talk to him and spend more time with him, it'll be easy for you to hear him, is what I'm trying to say. You can't just think like, okay, God, tell me what to do. Amen. And, you're going to get an answer. I mean, he may answer you like that. He can do whatever he wants to do, but you have to really it's like studying for a test. You can't just study for 3 minutes and think, okay, I'm about to get an A on this test. It doesn't work like that. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. And, we like to put in time and effort. Other things, we can learn all the new songs on the radio. All the new Cardi B. And I'm not gonna lie, I love me some Cardi B. We can learn all the Cardi B hooks, but we can't talk to God. That's so sad. And when you think about it, that's really so sad. So I'm not saying don't do any of those things, but spend some time with God. He's the reason that you woke up in the morning. He's the reason why you have a roof over your head. Tell him thank you. Tell him thank you, God, because he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do it for me. He didn't have to do it for you. So I would just want everyone watching this video just to spend some time with the Lord. And if you're feeling uncomfortable about anything or question anything in your life, I promise you, give it to God. And I promise you, believe me, he will see you through it. He will truly see you through it. And I hope this video can help someone. I knew that I had to tell my story. It was on my heart. And, I'm not done. I'm still living out this Atlanta lifestyle. I don't know what's next to come. As far as my makeup goes, I was telling you all that I want to use my talent to give back to God. So what I want to do is I want to start an organization, a not-for-profit organization, where I use my makeup to help women in need, struggling women, single mothers, or just women who, have had a rough time and who's trying to get back on their feet and get into the job market. Let me do your makeup for you so you can feel beautiful and confident on that interview day. Let me help you succeed. I want to use my makeup and my skill and my talent to give back, to help women empowerment, to feel good about themselves for the greater good. So that's what my plans are to do. And I just ask that you pray for me as I continue to pray for you. And God is good, and I'm so very, very thankful. I'm very, very, very thankful. And it was a humbling experience. And it's crazy because whenever someone asks me, like, oh man, how'd you get that job? That was so good. Like, congratulations. I tell them, I'm not taking credit for that. That has nothing to do with me. That was God. I'm not taking credit for that. That was God. I tell everyone, you know, let them know, like, I don't keep that a secret. I let them know how God worked in my favor, and I just want to encourage others. I still need encouragement. I still have times of doubt where I don't feel so great by myself. And thank God I have my sister who, she uplifts me, and vice versa. I uplift her. You should surround yourself with people who have your best interests at heart and who can uplift you. And yeah, hope this video wasn't too long. I just want to tell you all my story, and hope you like this video. I'll be back soon with another video. I just felt compelled to come back and tell you my story. So again, God bless you, and I will see you next time. Bye.